Hello to everyone. Today we will going to present about financial management and we were from group 11. Next, my name is Purnima Ramamurthy and my metric number is A18A0778. Then I will going to explain about the introduction to financial management. As basically the financial management is explained to the planning, organizing, directing, and the controlling the financial activities such as procurement and utilizations of funds of the enterprise. Next is going to emphasis to the data we have collected of the two publicly listed companies from the same industry, which is Plangi Publishing Group Berhad and Saspadi Holding Berhad. And they are divided to two types of analysis, which is horizontal analysis and vertical analysis. The horizontal analysis is an analysis technique that shows changes in the amounts of a corresponding financial statements items, and the other part of the vertical explains the where each line item on social financial statements is listed as a percentage of another item. Last but not least is to perform assign the report to know and analyze the 3 years of annual reports from year 2017 until 2019. This is a main objective is to provide a financial situations of a two companies and discuss how to turn their financial condition into satisfaction. Next, I am going to introduce about the business nature of Sasbadi Holding Berhad. Sasbadi Holding Berhad is an investment holding company. Since 1985, Sasbadi has been producing quality books and educational materials. The company of the Sasbadi is a publisher of education materials which is undertaking a print publishing focusing on a primary and secondary school education. Sasberry also engaged in a provision of typesetting and printing services, and printing of a computer for other types of printing services also involved. Sasberry is a recognized objective to meet the demands with a skill sets that includes a critical thinking, innovation and collaboration capabilities are needed by our future workforce. And last part is a mission of a Sasbadi Holding Berhad is to create a value through the product innovations, and vision is to be total education solutions provided by involving to meet the dynamic demands. Come, let's review more about the Sasbadi's company.
Sasbadi has transformed from a mere book publishing company to an education solutions provider. As Malaysian government works towards a high-income economy model by moving up the economic value chain, education is a cornerstone of that ambition. We plan to support the government's economic transformation program by producing high-quality products and services for the education system. Going forward, Sasbadi plans to expand its business by expanding its list of intellectual properties and by leveraging on them. For academic publishing, we develop contents for Malaysian curriculums covering from preschool all the way to post-secondary school.
Next is a Plangi Publishing Group Berhad. Plangi Publishing Group Berhad was incorporated in Malaysia under the Companies Act 1965 on 24 September 2002 as a public company. The subsidiary publishes and distributes is pocket books and educational materials. It is also engaged in a provision of typesetting and printing services, and printing of computer forms and other types of printing services also involved. Objective of Plangi Company has become one of the leading publishers in Malaysia with a wide variety of books ranging from government textbooks and academic books for both primary and secondary schools. The last part is the corporate mission is to publish quality educational products for schools and the general publications, and visions is to be an international acclaimed, fully integrated publishing house known for its design and publication. Then come review more about the Pelangi Publishing Guru Berhad Company.
Pelangi Books Gallery is a showcase of the latest trends of educational tools. Readers can expect to find thousands of books from the wide variety of genres available. Our goal is simple. We want to open a gallery that benefits schools, parents, and especially those living in Pelangi and surrounding areas.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Sabrina binti Muhammad Zulkifli and my metric number is A18A0743. I hold the position of accountant for Sasbadi company and I will present about the current financial position of the company, especially in ratio analysis in 2017, and I will present about the current financial position of the company, especially in ratio analysis in 2017. For ratio analysis, Sasbadi company in 2017, the liquidity ratio has a current ratio, quiet ratio, and net working capital. For the current ratio and quiet ratio, Sasbadi has a high ratio which is 36.88 dan Pelangi 6.59, and for the net working capital, Sasbadi record a high ratio which is 15463,000 dan Pelangi 1313971. Secondly, the leverage or solvency ratio has the debt ratio and debt to equity. For the debt ratio, Sasbadi record the lower ratio which is 3.96% dan Pelangi 4.08%. It means Sasbadi has a lower difficult in pay off its debt and can continue its operation dan Pelangi. And for the debt to equity, Pelangi represent 4.10% more than Sasbadi 3.97%, as the Pelangi provide the company total liabilities to its proper channel of shareholder equity. Next, for the profitability ratio has a gross profit margin, net profit margin, return on asset, operating profit margin, and return to equity. For gross profit margin, Sasbadi and Pelangi get the same ratio which is 1%. For the net profit margin, Sasbadi has indicated 0.73% more than Pelangi, which is 0.699%. In the net income of the company measured with total sales achieved. Next, for the return on asset, Pelangi has a high ratio which is 0.03%, then Sasbadi 0.02%. Because the Pelangi derive more percentage of its profit to its sources than than Sasbadi. For operating profit margin, Sasbadi is 0.73% higher than Pelangi, which is 0.70%, but in return on equity, Pelangi has a high ratio, which is 0.03% than Sasbadi, 0.02%. Lastly, for the activity ratio has average collection period, fixed asset turnover, account receivable turnover, and asset turnover. For average collection period, average number of days for Sasbadi record 1632 days dan Pelangi 132 days. For the fixed asset turnover, Sasbadi and Pelangi get the same ratio which is 0.04. And for the account receivable turnover, Pelangi has a high ratio which is 2.71, and then Sasbadi 0.22. This means Pelangi calculate by effectively dividing net credit sales by the average debt compared to Sasbadi. And last but not least, the assets turnover. Pelangi has a high ratio which is 0.04, then Sasbadi 0.03. It means Pelangi can consider efficient in making money using its asset than Sasbadi. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Ashiki binti Zana Abidin. Now, I will explain about ratio analysis of Sasbadi company in 2018. And also, I will explain about ratio analysis of Pelangi company in 2018, which is Pelangi is our competitor. Okay, as you can see, this is quality ratio, which is I have a calculate about current ratio, asset test ratio, or we can call as a quit ratio, and also net working capital. For the liquidity ratio, I will choose one. Okay, as you can see, net working capital, which is current asset minus current liability, which is Sasbadi more than greater than Pelangi, which is Sasbadi get 50 million, meanwhile Pelangi get 2 million. Now, I will explain about leverage or solvency ratio. Okay, I will calculate only two, which is debt ratio and also debt to equity. Okay, debt ratio, which is total debt divide total asset. Okay, Sasbadi get less than Pelangi, which is Sasbadi only get 0.34% and then Pelangi get 0.88%. Okay, next I will explain about profitability ratio, which is profitability ratio that I will calculate is gross profit margin, second net profit margin, then return on asset, for operating profit margin, and fifth is return on equity. Okay, for the gross profit margin, Sasbadi and Pelangi get a same percentage, which is only 1%. So this is equal. Now, I will explain about activity ratio. Okay, we calculate the average collecting period, fixed asset turnover, then account receivable turnover, and then asset turnover. Okay, now I will explain about asset turnover. As you know, to get asset turnover, we need to calculate sales divide total asset. Okay, Sasbadi get more than Pelangi, which is Sasbadi get 5,343 days. Meanwhile, the Pelangi get only 1,065 days only. So that's all for me. Thank you for listening.
Assalamualaikum. My name Syahdatul Umi Fatihah binti Rosli. My metric number A1880899. I want to presenting about horizontal Sasbadi company in 2019. Value current ratio has decreased from 43.2 to 31.83. That means Sasbadi poor to pay back its current liability. Value acid test ratio has decreased to 3.19. Company no ability to pay back its current liability. Net working capital has increased 15,008,700. Company success to pay back of debt. The value debt ratio has increased to 0.06 to 5%. This means company difficult to pay off debt. Debt to equity from 2018-2019 ratio still decreased until 0.0667%. Value gross profit margin ratio remain has the same profit 1%. Net profit margin 0.181% ratio has decreased. Return on asset ratio still continues decrease. That means the return of firm investment still decrease. Return on equity show decrease was 0.015%. In 2019, the ratio also increased until 8,602 days. Fixed asset still decreased 0.0103, which means the company fairly making net sales. Account receivable turnover show decrease 0.051. That means subsidy not enough to no manage problem. Asset turnover has decreased 0.00082. Value vertical on company subsidy and Pelangi. Current ratio Pelangi has lower ratio 2.44. Besides that, subsidy has higher 3.19. Asset test ratio Pelangi has lower over than subsidy. Net working capital subsidy had 50,878,000 over than Pelangi. Debt ratio subsidy has higher 6.25% compared Pelangi. Debt to equity subsidy was 6.67 had higher. Gross profit margin both of company had 1%. Net profit margin subsidy is earned 0.1% and Pelangi. Return in asset, the number of value Pelangi has higher. Operation profit margin Pelangi has higher. Return on equity subsidy has lower ratio, which is 0%. Average collection period Pelangi has 518 days. Subsidy had 24 days. Fixed asset turnover Pelangi has higher. Account receivable turnover Pelangi has higher. Asset turnover subsidy 0 compare Pelangi, which is 0.02.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurhaliza binti Muhammad Yusof, A18A0494. Next, for conclusion and recommendation for Sasbadi and Pelangi on how they improve their organization are: firstly, human resource department need to be more strict when they need to hire employees. For example, choose employees that have experience. Secondly, human resource department also need to give enough training to their new staff, so this can reduce mistake and increase company performance. Thirdly, give some rewards to employees so that they can loyal to the company. Next, financial department is also important to calculate the cash flow, so that company need to hire those who has basic accounting and mathematics. Financial department also should not doing any errors while work and key in data nicely. Lastly, upgrade the way of calculating from manually to systematic, such as using Microsoft Access and Microsoft Excel. As a conclusion, the company of Sasbadi and Pelangi need to improvise a little bit more so that they can be top of the best company books. That's all from me. Thank you.